And that is really what cost him the game.
Absolutely. And of course, give a lot of credit to White-Ra there for those amazing force fields. And Nick, you're giving me that look like it is ready to go.
It's time I did it. I made the game. We're ready. Are you guys ready? Let's get this going.
Now, if you would like White-Ra to advance to the finals, the famous Ukrainian Protoss, give a cheer for White-Ra. And of course, if there are any Dimaga fans who would like the happy, smiley Ukrainian man, the Zerg hero, to win, the crowd always loves those Ukrainians.
I know. No matter what, Ukraine wins, I guess, in the series. So,
yeah.
Dimaga over here at the north, spawning as the red Zerg on the map Lost Temple. Down here at the south, we're going to have White-Ra using the ID Duckload-ra, but we'll refer to him as White-Ra, just so it's not confusing. Because that's his ID user.
I was going to say, thank you, Tasteless. You know, the map is Lost Temple, and this map, I feel, and a lot of Zergs feel recently, can be quite good for Zerg versus Protoss.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of strategies you can do. You can throw up a Nidus Worm on the ledge to harass the expansion. You can, of course, Nidus to the islands. Nidus Worm basically very good on this map.
Yeah, I will say Nidus Worm to the Islands has given me nightmares in PvZ on this map. You know, you don't play it that often because I like to play random on the ladder, but whenever you do roll this, it is the Islands steal into mass Mutalisk that just feels so tough for Protoss to deal with. So definitely White-Ra is going to have that as his forefront fear on this map.
Yeah, you know, the Mutalisks, they stop any drops to go to kill your island, so it's basically 2 free expansions, and then you have your natural and your main. That is so many Vespene geysers. You can get a ridiculous amount of Mutalisks, and you have just complete map control.
It looks like Zerg's going to go for spawning pool first. By the way, map Lost Temple, actually a very old school Blizzard map. It was used in StarCraft 1. It's also a map in Warcraft 3, so we're seeing it here in StarCraft 2.
And I think we'll always see Lost Temple, probably being Diablo 3, who knows?
And meanwhile, it looks like Dimaga actually not going for that 14 halves. That's a very interesting play by Dimaga. A lot of people love that early expand, but clearly doesn't want to be cannoned in. Is instead going for a very fast gas, once again going for the Zergling speed. He is still sticking to the same builds that he was doing before that 1.1.2 patch.
The drone's going to move out here. He would like to expand, but this probe is going to be in the way. And of course, again, White-Ra has the option, if he wants to make a pylon, and he does.
Very annoying for a Zerg player, but Dimaga has already thrown up his spawning pool. This isn't like the other time we saw it. Zergling's already on the way, going to be able to deal with that pylon very fast.
Yeah, in fact, Dimaga could even make this feel like a loss for White-Ra. He could run up there, kill off the pylon. Clearly, look at this Dimaga. He doesn't even have the money to be able to build an expansion yet. So this is clearly just lost money at this point for White-Ra. So very, very smart opening by Dimaga.
He's going to attack that probe, try to drive him away. The probe, of course, wants to interfere with the mining of the drones to slow him down. Lings take out the probe, and of course, the Lings will take out this pylon as well, thus allowing White-Ra to get this expansion up.
Well, Dimaga will put up that hatchery, and look at that. Just as he kills the pylon, he reaches 300 minerals, so that was actually a waste for White-Ra there.
Yeah, he handled that very well. Looks like White-Ra is going to go ahead and get warp gates here. We're going to find out in a minute if he has anything else different, but I'm betting he's just going to get a few more warp gates like he's done in previous games and then try to expand down here.
I do think that's an excellent opening in PvZ as we saw in last game. On Lost Temple, the spaces are kind of closed off, kind of tiny. On Xel'Naga Caverns, they are wide, huge spread open, and even still White-Ra was able to defend it on Xel'Naga Caverns, so he's going to be more than prepared here on Lost Temple. So there it looks like Dimaga trying to do a little bit of chewing on that gateway. Very, very smart by White-Ra, not overreacting and pulling back, just waiting for that sentry to pop out.
That technique there, what he wants to do, and the reason why he's attacking the gateway is he wants the Zealot to move out here, then he can surround it, but of course White-Ra is not going to bite.
Yeah, you know, he gets out that sentry, he can make those Zerglings run back, and we see Dimaga, he gets a second queen before the hatchery's even up. That is great when you go speed first. It helps you recover your economy very quickly, and even throw down some creep tumors so that you can defend more easily with your queens and Zerglings.
Looks like that second and third gateway is coming up for White-Ra at the front of his base. He does have a Stalker to help deal with some of that Zergling harassment. This is really becoming the standard way to play PvZ, to get 3 gateways relatively fast and a lot of sentries. Sentries eat up your gas, you have some minerals left over, so you throw down an expansion.
Looks like the Zerglings are still parked outside of the base. He's going to position an Overlord up here, so if anybody does move out, he's going to see it. And for the time being, we're just going to have to sit and wait. Looks like White Ra again doing his 3-gate build, peeking with the Zerglings. Did he see the 3 gates? Yes.
Yeah, that is, again, the problem with making those gateways right there, but I guess that's what White Ra does like. It looks like he's going to go for an expansion again, the same type of opening, but this time we see Dimaga is making spine crawlers instead of mass Zerglings, so this actually works very well for a Mutalisk build.
Yeah, one thing about doing a build like this, it means you're going to be teching. Instead of getting mass Zerglings, he's going to be able to get that layer out, as you can see he's doing that right now, and still keep himself safe.
Well, it looks like Dimaga, he's just working on his economy. I really love it. He's doing a lot of larva injects. A nice creep tumor would be pretty good, you know, make it so the queens can go in between the hatcheries a little bit easier. And this drone, he's going to make a spire in a moment here.
Yeah, he filled out his application. He's going to be a spire when he grows up. And that means he's going to do some mute attacking here and threat harassing.
Yeah, it looks like we already have some overlords positioned by the top left island. No overlord at the bottom right yet. There is one that could be moved there relatively soon, and that is going to be extremely difficult for White Ra to deal with. Again, the double island spire play. There's plenty of spine crawlers thrown down at the front of Dimaga's base. Dimaga's just slowly adding spine crawlers at the front because he just wants to be able to have enough defense if anything comes out.
That's right. You know, he's going to get enough mutas that he can fly around, harass White Ra a bit, but then his gas is going to go into the Nidus Worm so that he can take the islands, get up to 4 base, and win. But during this time, all he needs to make sure is that he does not get busted. That means a lot of spine crawlers, hopefully both on the ledge and the low ground.
Now he's going to move out here. He may just want to force the Zerg, into making more spine crawlers than backing off. Because this force clearly is not going to be enough.
Oh, but look at the middle of the map. Very smart by Dimaga. He's taking a small number of Zerglings. He's going to be able to pick off a sentry. Oh.
I don't know why he did that force field there, but...
looks like
he's going to go ahead and attack over here. Does pick off one of those spine crawlers it was making.
Uh-oh.
Queen is stuck outside.
Traps that queen. Nice kill there by White Ra, but he does have to back up. Loses a few units, uses up some of his energy, but still trying to harass the spine crawlers.
And meanwhile, at White Ra's natural, that small force of Zerglings has managed to poke in and do a little bit of damage to White Ra's mineral line. Extremely nice play there by Dimaga. Even though he did lose that queen, it's so important that even while you are under pressure, you are putting pressure back on your opponent.
That's right, and right now we see that a Nidus Worm is being made. He's getting that Nidus network. He's going to want to expand to the islands, and in the meantime, he's going to start Mutalisk production pretty soon.
On the other hand, White Ra is going to go ahead and take out the destructible rocks, build a gold expo, and he's going to be in a very good economic situation. The Zerg, on the other hand, will eventually take this Overlord, float it over here, and take the 4th base. If we get to that point in the game, they'll probably be expanding there.
Yeah, what White Ra's doing is a very straight-up normal way to play. You add on expansions relatively at a normal, even pace, and then you just add on an army at a relatively normal, even pace. But Dimaga is doing a little bit more of a momentum play. He is just going to defend, and once he gets all his islands up and starts getting a lot of Mutalisks, that's when he's going to be scary. So it's so important that White Ra take as much advantage of this big, quiet time right now by taking those expansions, by getting those upgrades.
And that's right. You see, he already has that Twilight Council out. He's going to want to get the Templar Archives, because without Storm in the Supreme late game, Mutalisks just destroy the Protoss army.
And here's what we were talking about. The Nidus Worm is out, and it's also allowed, this Nidus Worm over here as well, has allowed him to expand. And so the game plan here for Dimaga, as we've said, is to mass up air units, defend the islands, and just try to harass the Protoss and stop him from getting too many expansions.
And wow, +1 attack is almost done for Dimaga. He very clearly was planning this Mutalisk play long in advance. Big amount of money also being stockpiled for Dimaga. And in the meantime, the Gold Expo going down for White Ra. Both players getting the chance to really do what they want, completely unaffected by the opponent. So this really goes to show who is doing better economy management at this point in time. And really both players, because they're very skillful Ukrainians, are dead even.
Well, it looks like right now Dimaga is going to fly around with these Mutalisks, and he's going to go ahead and attack this gold expansion. If he could make it cancel, that would be huge, but the Stalkers are coming in. Blink not quite done yet, but when Blink is done, he's going to be able to blink under Mutas in an engagement like that and kill a lot of them.
Uh-oh, there's the harassment. Blink is just now finished, so White Ra could potentially poke up there. He has Stalkers positioned all over the map, and now this is the defense time for White Ra. This is when Dimaga really starts to feel extremely comfortable. That +1 flyer attack is done. Is he getting +2? Yes, indeed, he is. On his islands, he's getting plenty of gas, and Mutalisks are continuing to poke around this expansion.
Well, it looks like a couple gases going up at that base, and soon Dimaga is going to have the sickest gas income ever. And as his mutas grow, White-Ra is just not going to be able to be mobile. He needs to get Psystorm up, he needs to use Blink Stalkers, good upgrades, and hopefully just weather the storm that is 4-base Mutalisk.
Okay, we got a lot of teching going on here. As you can see, he's transferring the drones over here to the expansion. This expansion will soon have those drones. And White-Ra with the Observer now sees what's going on, but does he have full vision of both of these expansions? No! Oh, he actually can't see the creep. But we don't know if he's actually spotted that.
Here come the mutas. His eyes are going to be drawn back there and realize that that's happening. And see, that's a nice little harassment move. Just kills a cannon, moves out. You don't want to lose Mutalisks in this situation. Just build up your numbers until you have that critical mass.
For the time being, White-Ra is going to have to do something pretty severe. Hold that thought, actually. Mutalisks harassing the probes, taking out a ton. We see Stalkers warping in, although it doesn't look like they're going to complete.
Looks like nice harassment here by the mutas.
Oh no, Dimaga has White-Ra has absolutely no units in time, but it looks like the blink up into the main is what White-Ra was going for. Oh my goodness, Dimaga is trying to pull back everything as quickly as he can. Spinecrawlers trying to make their way up the ramp to be able to burrow in time to do a little bit of damage, but Dimaga does not really have the Mutalisk count we would have expected. There's the blink forward to try to pick off those Spinecrawlers, but again, here comes Dimaga with a huge Mutalisk Zergling mix. I do not know if he'll be able to stay. There's some nice blink micro by White-Ra, pulling chunks of those units back, but will he be able to pick them off? There's just so many Mutalisks.
Wow, it looks like White-Ra is going to win this battle, and if he kills this main base, Dimaga is going to be out of this tournament. There's just not going to be anything left for him to do without his tech structure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you take out the heart of the Zerg base,
and there's the good game.
There it is, GG.
White-Ra goes on to the second, third place match.
Wow.
Wow, that was beautiful timing there. I actually can't believe it. He got that Observer to blink up into the main base of Dimaga. Totally caught him off guard there.
And there
Amazing.
he is.
He's right there.
Of course, White-Ra and Dimaga, known to be great friends, going to immediately go over and congratulate him. And here is your 4th place player, BlizzCon 2010, Dimaga.
Guys, give it up for Dimaga.
And of course,
give it up for White-Ra as well.
So of course, happily discussing the game, but I want to give another big load of credit there to White-Ra for figuring out the timing to crack that huge Mutalisk island play that is so hard to find the timing to break into Zerg's main, but it was so perfect.
You know, I think the one big problem with Dimaga's play that game is he was a little bit greedy. He got both expansions going. If he had focused on one, put in more money to defense and making his Mutalisks a little bit quicker as opposed to droning everything, then he may have had enough to hold off those Stalkers.
Yeah. But either way, great play both players. 2-1 series.
We're going to have Remind versus Infi coming up in just a little bit, guys. I was just informed by that. So get ready for that, guys. It was great casting. And, of course, join us again for the StarCraft 2 Finals.